Okay, hi, it's Mr. Zarzak, and I'm going to show you how to just quickly do the data collection for the Bouncing Ball lab. So I've got the lab set up over here. Okay, this is the ball I'm going to be dropping. This is a Vernier motion sensor. Okay, when you turn it on, you'll hear a click, 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 click. And what it's doing is it's broadcasting sound, so there's a little speaker up here. Okay, and there's also a microphone. And what it's doing, it's listening for the echo of the sound transmit. It hits something and then it bounces back up, it reflects, okay, and then it just records the time intervals from transmission of sound to hearing the reflection, and from that it can compute all kinds of things, position, velocity, okay, the time frame in between clicks. Well, anyways, what you want to do is, if we have the bouncing ball file loaded up on the computer, that just talks to the sensor. Okay, so data collection is real easy. Just hit the press to collect, wait for the clicks, drop the ball. All right, and you let it bounce until it stops clicking. Your data's on the screen. All right, and that's what it looks like. All right, so the ball has come to rest. Just so you can see up close, this is what the sensor looks like. That little gold plate, that's the little speaker and microphone connection. And then the data that I just collected, here's what it looks like on the screen. Okay, so your data's gonna look something like that, and you'll perform your analysis for the ball lab. Alrighty friends, in this portion of the video, I'm going to take you through how to import and manipulate the data for the bouncing ball lab. Okay, so I've already got the lab loaded up into Noteability. We'll be using that later on to annotate the graphs. All right, but first things first, we actually have to get the data. All right, so jump over to Schoology. All right, hopefully by now you have installed this Vernier Graphical Analysis GW, which stands for Go Wireless app. There's a link for it here in the folder. Just so you can see it when it pops, you do need to take it and open it in Safari. That's going to default take you to the App Store. Okay, I've already installed it, so I don't need to open it. Actually, I take that back. You do need to open it. Do launch the app. The reason being is that it's going to get the app on your lists of files to open from within Schoology. So what I mean by that, okay, is if I jump back to Schoology, all right, close this out. All right, down near the bottom, second from the bottom, okay, bouncing ball data 2020.cmbl. That's the file that you're going to want. All right, and Schoology has no idea how to open this. This is proprietary to Vernier, which is the company that does our probeware. All right, in other words, you have to have the right app. So hit the little share button in the upper right-hand corner, and that graphical GW, which is it's got that kind of diagonal green GW ribbon on it. Click on that. All right, and it's going to take you here. Look, it even said success. All right, so this is the data of the bouncing ball for position versus time. We want to be able to display two graphs simultaneously, one for position and one for velocity. So we do need to do a little bit of data manipulation. All right, to do that, you're going to want to click on the little box in the upper right-hand corner. All right, that's the table icon. All right, and select table from that list. Or excuse me, that's the layout icon, I guess. In the position column, you see that there are those three green horizontal circles. So if you click on that, and you're going to add a calculated column. All right, what we're going to be calculating here is we're going to use the data for position and time and use it to calculate velocity. And we're going to let the app do it for us. Position is in meters, time is in seconds, and so our velocity unit's just meters per second. Okay, so we manipulate it there. You have a list of different functions that you can apply. Okay, if you scroll down to near the bottom, the second from the bottom says first derivative with parentheses y comma x. Okay, so we're taking the derivative of position with respect to time. If you are in pre-calc or calc, you might know what that means already. If you don't worry about it. Just select that one and press done. Okay, and so you see that the app has done the legwork for us. It's computed all the velocities from the position and time. I'm going to tap on that layout button, that little kind of square with the little rectangles inside of it, and I'm going to select two graphs. Okay, and so we see we have the velocity versus time data now. All right, we're going to change around the layout just a little bit. Okay, so on the vertical axis where it says velocity in meters per second, I'm going to tap on that green text. Okay, and you see the velocity is selected. We're going to turn position on, okay, and we're going to turn velocity off. Okay, so then we just tap out to make that little window disappear. All right, now we're looking at that position versus time data for the bouncing ball. On this bottom graph, this is where we're going to put the velocity data. Okay, so this is an important step. You have to tap on the horizontal axis first. So where it says add x-axis in green, tap on that first and set that to time. If you try to set the vertical axis first, the app will crash. All right, now that I have that, tap on the vertical axis where it says add y-axis in green. All right, and we put on the velocity data. And then just tap out of this little window to make it go away. More than likely, okay, this is the layout, this is the view that you're going to have. To change that from points to a continuous curve, all right, on the velocity graph in the lower left-hand corner, there's a small green icon that looks like a graph axis with some points connected. If you click on that, okay, it brings up this Graph Tools window. Bottom choice is Graph Options, so click on that. All right, as long as it's there, we're going to take and give it a title. Okay, so this is velocity versus time. Okay, and then the second choice down is appearance. You see it select the points. Okay, take and select lines instead. All right, and then if you tap out, now our graph has a title, velocity versus time. Okay, the points are all connected in a nice, smooth, continuous curve. All right, I'm going to click on the Graph Properties button for the position time. That's the little icon in the lower left-hand corner. Okay, and I'm going to go to Graph Options. Let's give this a title as well. So position versus time. All right, and then just tap out, okay, for this. You can manipulate and you do your analysis within the app. If you just grab one of the graphs and you can either pinch zoom, okay, you can rescale however you want. You are going to want to keep the two graphs synced up. So in other words, if you double tap on the position time graph, okay, it auto scales it. And the reason we want to do this, okay, is because this is what you're going to import into Noteability when you're done with your analysis in here. You want the velocity time and the position time graphs to be time synced, okay? So both of these are showing the motion of the ball bouncing up and down and up and down and up and down. Okay, the time frame on both graphs is the same. If I tap on the velocity time graph, okay, you see that it will label points for me. I can also take and I can select data just by dragging, and when I do that, okay, that little Graph Properties button in the lower left-hand corner, that turns blue. Okay, that means that we can do some stuff with the data that we've collected. To get rid of it, you just X out. You might find it useful to scale your velocity graph just to make it a little bit easier for you to drag and get the data that you want. Okay, you're going to be computing the slope of the velocity graph in different portions a bunch of times, so just so you can see that, if I click on that little now highlighted in blue graph button, that graphing tools, the third one down says apply curve fit, and it defaults to linear, which is what you're going to want to use. Okay, later on in different levels we can change it, but this little box has all the information about the line. Slope is given in value m, b is the intercept. Okay, you just need the slope. Okay, you can do that a bunch of times. All right, and then when you're done, when you've recorded those values, you just X out of that box. Okay, and then to rescale, you just double tap. Okay, and then now these are time synced again. You will need to import these graphs into Noteability because you're going to do some highlighting for the different portions of the two graphs. The easiest way to do it is to just take a screen capture. Now, you can export images of the graphs, but it puts them in PDFs, okay, and that's not what we want for Noteability, so just take a quick screen capture. So it's sitting on your camera roll. All right, and then I'm going to jump back over to Noteability, where I've already got the lab loaded up. Okay, you might need to add a page to the end of the lab because that's where we're going to put our graphs. Okay, hit the little plus button. All right, you want to go to Photo Library. Okay, and then there's our graphs. I'm going to select it and then hit the Add button at the bottom of the window. Okay, and there's my graph. I'm going to take it and I'm going to make it nice and big to fill the page. And then I'm also going to crop it. We don't need to see my battery widget, okay, or the Schoology back button. So just get rid of the extra noise up here, or up there and down here, and then press the little blue check mark. Okay, and then we are ready to roll. All right, so that should about do it. All right, good luck with your lab. All right, Mr. Zarzak saying thanks for watching.